there was a question about the Hierophant. And so what I was saying about the keys, there's two keys sitting in front of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is wearing, let's think of a good Pope. I mean, we're talking like would be this person that would have a connection to the higher consciousness and to be guiding people through and understanding the way to get to an enlightened place with the one. And then, this is the representation. This is the Hierophant. Essentially, it would be a person saying, yes, if you do that, that's going to lead you to the higher consciousness. That's going to bring you to the place of a good life, a good living as a human being, a person who's fully living in harmony with his purpose and his nature, as opposed to the other key. And there's, different aspects here of whether a person wants to follow lusts and those kind of desires or higher desires of like purity and life purpose. On one side, the life purpose is being the steward of the planet, as opposed to the other side is being like the plague of the planet, as opposed to the middle, neutral, which is neither nor. But the person who is the steward for the planet is the one of the higher consciousness and realizes that that's what his programming in his DNA means, is to awaken that and become the steward for the planet, which is his talents, his abilities. And I find it nice when I see people using those to do that purpose, to bring a higher consciousness and to bring understanding for others. This really, has to do with the higher consciousness here in the Hierophant sort of way. He wears the red capes, although, red is sometimes associated with the ego, but at the same time, when he wears it proudly, it has to do with being able to have used and calmed that ego, the shadow ego, whereas now he can wear it as pride, where it's more about pride with a capital P. It's purified. It's like, I know I've been there and I can guide you, as opposed to, any sort of the lower consciousness that would just kind of be egotistical and bragging and, so then we have the other side where a person might make a decision regarding his love and really what does he love and what is he devoted to. And this is all about choices, though. And the Hierophant is that thing that we have inside of us that we sort of balance and weigh. This is the way to a good place, or is this the way to pain? Nobody wants to go to pain because we already know, of course, that's going to bring death eventually. If we choose the painful route, it's painful. And painful leads to sickness, leads to low health in all ways, energetically. And the other side here, healthy and happy and pleasure. And, it's basically choosing the shadow once again, or choosing the substance. The substance is what gives you lasting life, higher consciousness, evolving, what your life purpose is for, whether it's to be someone who's fast or sharp or creative or analytical or inventive or, all of the above. And it's using that in order to fulfill your purpose of being here, making the world a better place for yourself and for your fellow beings. And then we have the other side to that. That's the lower consciousness. So, that would be, okay, if we're talking a Hierophant of a lower consciousness, and this would be the filter inside the mind, but also allegorically the Pope, out there in the external world too. Would be the controlling, the one who, go for the displeasurable, painful things. I don't care. In fact, that's the ruling factor, is the displeasure, leading you the wrong directions. A person always led into a counterproductive behavior. Sometimes it seems so comfortable to stay there. But essentially, that's in psychology too. Choosing the pleasure versus the pain. It's what made the ancestors, and even think of the monkeys. Um, you know, if you keep continuing to do the painful things, your species just ends. So it's intelligence, but it's a spiritual intelligence. And so I think I'm going to end here, and then we'll go to the next thought point.